Salutations to our future judges. Based on the request of the viewers, I have published this video on how to read a Bar Act. Before knowing how to read a Bar Act, you need to identify the purpose for which you are reading the Bar Act. So, there are four purposes generally. The first one is the aspirants who are pursuing judicial exams, professional exams, or competitive exams. And this includes the teachers who teach them as well. Second is professional requirements. For example, an advocate or a chartered accountant or a company secretary, anyone for that reason who's doing some professional work. And this includes judiciary as well. And the third one is general public who, based on some general interest, or maybe due to the fact that they got affected by some act or by some section of an act, then they could also study a Bar Act. And the fourth and last one is legislative amendments. So when a state legislature or a parliament wants to amend an act, then how it should view or read a Bar Act. The first one is people who are pursuing judicial exams or professional exams or competitive exams. There are basically 10 tips or techniques which would help you read the Bar Act in a better manner. The first one is you need to study the full name of the act, and you need to know what is the number of the act. Sometimes in exams they could even ask the number of the act. So the next thing is year of the act, then the date of notification and the date of enforcement of the act. Sometimes the date of notification may be different from the date of enforcement, so you need to know both of them. Second one is you need to go through the latest amendments in the act, because questions might be asked from the latest amendments also. Third one is you need to understand the whole purpose of the act. This we can call as eagle view, like an eagle which views its prey from a distance of nearly 2 kilometers or maybe even more. It gives a complete overall glance of that particular area to identify its prey. So you need to have a complete view of the act. Fourth one is you need to identify the chapters, schedules, annexures, etc. in the act. So what happens is when you split the entire act as different chapters, you get to concentrate more on chapters easily. Then you need to come down to sections, subsections, explanations, illustrations which are given in that particular chapter, and you can read it word by word or even sentence by sentence according to your own requirement. Next, you need to note down the relevant sections in other connected acts. For example, Limitation Act speaks about Indian Easement Act, and this is the act which is getting connected in the Limitation Act. Already I have given a video in this particular subject. It is section 29(4) subclause 4 of Limitation Act. I have given the link for that video as an iCard as well as in the description. Those who have not seen that video, please go and see that video so that it will be helpful for you to understand this concept. Seventh one is you need to check what the section defines. For example, in some acts they give a separate section for definitions, so you need to know what the definition states. Then each and every section has an explanation which is given, so you need to study those explanations as well. Then you have to get an overall view as to what is permitted by that section or what is restricted by that section. This could help you while writing answers in your main exams for judicial exams. And the eighth one is you need to connect the sections with relevant case laws. So what happens is when a question is asked in a case law, you can very well connect this section to that relevant case law. So it could help you in obtaining more marks in a judicial exam. And the ninth one is in some cases what they do is they give numbers or they give stipulations with respect to numbers or calculations. In that case, what you can do is you can arrange some mathematical examples so that it will be easy for you to understand the specific section. For example, section 30 speaks about certain limitation periods. So A video is also given in this regard. I given the link of that particular Limitation Act video in iCard as well as in the description. You can go and check that if you have not seen that video. 10th one is, if the language used in the section is so confusing that you're not in a position to understand it, then what you can do is you can split that particular section into different parts. You can split that as sentences or as words. Then you can refer to the illustrations and try to understand that particular section. Then it will be easy for you. Professional requirements would include advising a client. It could be to an individual or a company or a government. Next, for discussion or argument with fellow professionals, you need to read the Bar Act. For argument in a constitutional body or legal authorities, for example, if you need to argue before a court or tribunal, or if you need to make a representation in a commission, for all these aspects, you need to study the Bar Act. Then, in some cases, you may want to acquire professional expertise. Even for that case, you need to study the Bar Act. And in case of judiciary, when judges are rendering certain judgment, they need to go through the Bar Act thoroughly so that they give a proper judgment. So that is also a professional requirement. Professionals can follow some 6 tips and techniques to study the Bar Act, which would satisfy their professional requirements. First one is they need to identify the correct Bar Act. For example, Limitation Act would not apply to divorce or marriage cases. So to identify a limitation for a divorce case or a marriage case, the person who is contesting the case or the person who is in need of a knowledge in this regard should refer to the divorce or marriage related acts and not a Limitation Act. Second is a person who's in professional aspect should verify the latest amendments in the act. Third one is, while studying the Bar Act, first thing a professional can do is he can go through the index and identify the special subject or section he is looking for in the act. And the fourth one is he need to understand both the sections which are favorable as well as adverse, so that when he goes and is contesting a case, it will be helpful to him. And the fifth one is he needs to note down the relevant sections in other acts as well. As I explained the first point, there could be an act which says about another act, which says that the other act is excluded or the other section in the other act is excluded. So he needs to make a note of all these sections which are relevant in other acts as well. And the sixth one is he need to connect these sections to the relevant case laws. The reason is he can quote this as a precedent wherever it is required, and it could bring a judgment or bring an aspect which is in his favor. Next one is people who are in general interest, who are general public, or general public who have some personal requirement pertaining to certain acts or sections. There are some 5 tips which they can follow. They can select a book with commentaries if possible in their own mother tongue, which explains about the act which they want to know about. So after reading this, the second thing they can do is they can try to read the Bar Act, and they need to ensure that the Bar Act contains the latest amendments. And the third thing is, after reading the Bar Act, if they feel that they couldn't understand a particular section, then they can get this clarified from professionals or even online tutorials if they don't understand a specific section or its explanation. And the fourth point is, instead of getting into each and every section or the intricate details of each and every section, they can get an overall idea of the entire Bar Act if they are reading only for general interest. And the fifth one is, if general public out of their own personal requirement or out of their own personal need try to study the act, then they can focus on the sections which are most connected to their own personal requirement. That would help them to get a better understanding of the Bar Act. Next is legislative amendments. When state legislature or parliament are making amendments, it is very much essential that these tips can be taken into consideration for framing a better amendment to any act or section. First, when a law commission or any other authority for that reason makes or recommends some amendment of act or sections, they need to think from the perspective of the people who would get affected or the people who would benefit, so that there is a balance between these two group of people, or the benefits they gain or the problems or the damages they would get. Second is, they can read the recommendations from those who would get affected by this amendment or who would get benefited by this amendment, and those recommendations can also be considered if there is a possibility. Third one is, if there is any alternate act which also needs to be amended, if a particular section or a particular act is amended, that needs to be verified, so that this amendment what is planned could bring a better or a desired result. Then the fourth thing is, if an amendment is brought in, we need to identify what impact it would cause to the structure, power or authority of any organization. For example, there could be an act which says that the power of court is taken away and handed over to a collector, or it could be the other way around. A power of collector is handed over to a court or to any other authority. In that case, they need to identify what impact this would cause in the regular functioning of those authorities. Fifth point is, any amendment should not violate the Indian Constitution. Sixth is, the existing barrack in which the amendment is planned should be thoroughly analyzed to identify which section needs an amendment or which section needs to be repealed, or if there is a necessity that a new act itself should be introduced. And the seventh point is, whether the amendment which is planned to be brought in this particular act would defeat the overall purpose of the act. For example, amendment to a particular section might cause a great damage to the whole of the act. So this fact also needs to be considered. With great pleasure, I share with you that our channel has reached 100 subscribers, more than 1000 views, 50 public hours in less than a month. This would have not been possible at all without you. And I thank you personally for making this channel grow. In this channel, videos are published for the benefit of those who are writing the judicial exams, other competitive exams, and those who are pursuing professional courses, and also for professionals who are practicing. If you are new to this channel and if you like the video, please do subscribe the channel by pressing the red color subscribe button and select all, so that you would be the first person to receive the notification when a video is published in this channel. Do share the video and help those who are in need. If you like the video, do press the thumbs up button. Your comments are most welcome in this channel. If you feel that I've left something in this video, or if you feel that I need to put video on some other subject, please do post it in the comment. Let us contribute for a learned society. Thank you.